Excellent. It shows us live on YouTube
Okay.
and on Facebook. And
Wonderful.
since I had a smaller break than usual between our last interview and this interview, I'll just wait a few minutes for Facebook to alert people that we're live. And I will also do my part in checking and sharing this out.
Great. Great. I'll see if I can do the same while we're
Sure,
waiting here for a few minutes.
of course. All right. Well, I do see that we are actively live. We've shared this out as well. And I want to go ahead and get our broadcast kicked off since we only have a few minutes with each candidate. We are really moving through all of our candidates as quickly as possible. Anyone that is representing our community, whether at the state level in the House, Senate, county commissioner offices, all the way to our sheriff departments, they have all been invited to our virtual session today. If they did not have any conflicts or were able to make things work in their schedule, then they were able to join us. Welcome, of course, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening that you're watching this. I want to thank you for taking the time to get to know our candidates a little bit more and hear from them on a few of the different topics that are shared our way. A few housekeeping things for you. If this is your first time on our page, please make sure that you like and follow the page. If you're viewing it on Facebook or on YouTube, then you subscribe to that page as well so you can get alerted when we post content. I am Juliette Abdel. I'll be your moderator today. The questions that we do have were pre-submitted questions to us through our policy experts that are within our organization. That being said, our candidates do not know any of these questions. They haven't had it ahead of time. It is completely brand new to them as it is new to you. And the way that this works is that they'll have a couple of minutes at the start to share about themselves. We'll move into the questions that we have where they'll have 45 seconds to answer those questions, and then we'll do some closing statements and remarks. If our candidate goes through those questions quickly and we are done with the questions, then we'll take up any questions that have come from the audience. I do want to emphasize that we try and educate who is tuned in. And so anything that is using profanity or language that we may not deem professional to the best of our viewpoints and lens, we will not be displaying on the screen. But I do want to thank you all for being engaged with us, and we'll do our best to try and get everyone's voice heard as possible throughout this. There is a comment section on this video. Feel free to comment in there for others to see what your comment is, for us to pull if those are pleasantries or if they're questions that we have time for, we'll be able to pull from at a later point in time. There is a share button on this video that we ask you to hit so others in your network can see that we're live and can also hear from this candidate as well. And with that, I'm very excited to have with me our current incumbent for Jeffco County Commissioner, and that's Leslie Dahlkemper. Leslie, thank you for being on here with me.
Juliette, thanks so much for having me, and a huge thanks to the West Chamber board and team for sponsoring and hosting these candidate forums.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I do see a lot of comments, so I'm just quickly trying to go through and pull any quick pleasantries that are there. I see Parker Brown giving us a good afternoon. Stephanie, thank you for being on here. Jason, thank you as well for being on here and joining us onto our broadcast. I'm trying to see if there are any more. We've got a lot of comments. I'm just quickly going through to make sure that I didn't overlook any of those quick pleasantries. Okay, your other comments, I see them. I hear you all. I will take a second to look at it all when we do have a small break or some time for me to be able to address that. But Leslie, I don't want to lose sight of our time together, so I do want to jump right into this. If you can start us off by giving an introductory statement or some opening remarks for folks to hear from you.
You bet. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your afternoon to join us or to view this video a little bit later to be well informed on the candidates running for offices at the county level and at the state level. I'm Jefferson County Commissioner Leslie Dahlkemper, and I've had the honor of serving as your county commissioner for the last 4 years, and I'm running for re-election. Our family has called Jefferson County home for 27 years. We think it is an incredible place to raise a family, to start a business, or to retire. So far, we're 2 for 3 on that list. And as the gateway to the Rockies, I think that Jefferson County offers an unparalleled quality of life. And I feel very fortunate, along with you, to call Jefferson County home.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that opening remarks and the statement. We'll jump right into some of these questions as it relates to our county commissioners. And I will go ahead and type in these questions and then be able to pull them on our screen. I may have to verbally say them since we're getting so many things that are coming up. How can the county best respond to the crisis of homelessness our community is facing?
Thank you. The issue of homelessness is an issue that we have all raised concern about. And how do we get to the bottom of it? It is a big issue. And that's why in Jefferson County, we place a high priority on working collaboratively, working with our chambers of commerce, working with our nonprofits, working with groups like Jefferson Center for Mental Health, as well as Jefferson County Human Services. We're doing a number of things on this front. One, understanding and mapping the homelessness issue here in Jefferson County with the help of our homeless navigators. We know that one municipality, one nonprofit, or one county can't do this work alone. That's why the county, in tandem with our cities, created a homeless navigator system. And that system really looks at what is the issue, how are we addressing it, where are the gaps, and also getting a better idea of who our homeless population is made up of. We're also working next on a navigation center, which is a very exciting model, both in Lakewood and Arvada. We've allocated some American Rescue Plan dollars to get that off the ground. It would include an emergency shelter, transitional housing, as well as housing that's more attainable, and wrapping around it all those key services and programs to help with issues and challenges along the way.
Thank you so much for that answer. We'll move into our next question. Throughout COVID, the health department's decisions were highly scrutinized. The Board of Health members are appointed by the Board of County Commissioners. What is your methodology when evaluating a nominee for that board or any other board?
Thank you so much. We have a series of criteria that we look at specifically for the Board of Health that helps us determine who is best suited for that position. And I will tell you, we had incredible nominees most recently for an opening that we had on the Jeffco Board of Health. We worked together with the Board of Health to go through those nominees who are interested. We welcome everyone to apply for boards and commissions across Jefferson County because we rely very heavily on the counsel of our different boards and commissions in terms of the day-to-day work that we do. We also value the time that our community takes to serve on boards and county commissions and really appreciate that work. So we look very closely at background, experience. We want to know more about what's driving that individual to serve on the board. Is it a passion for public health or planning and zoning or businesses and economic development and more?
Excellent. Thank you. Leslie, I do want to, and I know I said I would wait on looking at people's comments, but there are quite a bit that are coming through, and I feel like there's an overall theme, and I don't want them to feel like we're ignoring them. These are, and I'll quickly kind of go over them because it looks like some of them are very similar to one another. They're referencing land concerns and land theft that is from taxpayers, from people that may own property, some things that have been transpiring as it relates to suing individuals that own land, etc. Is this something that you can speak to, or would you like to kind of address this?
I'll just say briefly that this issue is now in the courts, and it will be up to the courts to rule on what the next steps are regarding specifically the boundary related to this particular land issue. So I appreciate also the perspectives on both sides of this issue and the concerns that we've heard from both sides, and appreciate the engagement on it as well.
Thank you, and thank you for your comments, all of you, and for answering that quickly. I'll continue to monitor that as I best can. This question is related to crime rates exploding. What steps should the county take to both support the sheriff's department and ensure that the DA's office is adequately addressing the problem?
Absolutely. Community safety, crime is top of mind for all of us. And we have seen crime rates in some specific areas in particular increase. That's why we work so closely with Sheriff Schrader when it comes to protecting as much as possible the sheriff's department from budget cuts. We faced budget challenges over the last couple of years here in Jefferson County. But one of the things that we have done is earmarked American Rescue Plan dollars to the amount of 3.7 million to help with additional staffing in the jail. We also did that with the CARES Act dollars. But as you may have heard in some of the interviews a little bit earlier with the sheriff's candidates, one of the big challenges our sheriff is facing is recruitment of candidates. So those dollars are banked to help with staffing in our county jail. The other area that we've looked at to further recruit and retain more sheriff's deputies really focuses on an additional 1.7 million for an enhanced retirement package. We've also increased salaries by 5%. And we've protected important areas, including mental health co-responders, who are so critical to the work that our deputies are doing and our work with the community, especially with those with significant mental health crises or issues that they're confronting, as well as our school resource officers who are an important part of the school fabric and school community as well. And when that works well, that individual is a trusted adult in that school community. And I want to make sure we protect those dollars too.
Thank you. Here's a next question about Jeffco being a home to beautiful open spaces and tourism destinations. As a commissioner, how would you work to showcase our community and promote tourism?
Well, we spend a lot of time in Jeffco Open Space, and we're very proud to also say that we have expanded during my 4 years as county commissioner our parks to the tune of an additional 3,000 acres with another 2,300 acres slated in the near future. We're really proud of that. We've also expanded our beautiful trails by 40 miles. And we're very proud of the national recognition our Jeffco Open Parks and Trails receive. I will also tell you, I've worked very closely as a member of the Economic Task Force with our chamber presidents like Juliet and others to make sure that we're nimble and adaptive in terms of how we work to both promote tourism, but also local small businesses who really are the backbone of our local communities. In fact, I remember during COVID heading up to some of the different communities and doing promotional short video clips, encouraging people to shop locally. That's really an important part of the work that we do together as we partner together as well.
And you slightly touched on economic development with that answer. And so if we can move into what your unique vision is, maybe for economic growth, let's have you share a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. It's a great question. Jefferson County is an incredible county that has attracted global attention from companies. You know, we have Swiss aircraft manufacturer Pilatus based right here at the Rocky Mountain Metro Airport. It recently expanded. We attended the groundbreaking of that aviation company. In addition, we're very excited about a new public-private partnership that involves Jefferson County, State of Colorado, NREL, and other renewable energy businesses. It's the creation of what we're calling the new Glow Park or Global Energy Park. It is expected to attract thousands of new jobs to Jefferson County, as well as position us for a renewable hub, which as we continue to look at our changing climate and find new ways to address energy needs and renewable, sustainable energy, this is also a great opportunity. We want to continue to grow those industries that are doing so well and thriving, like aviation, the healthcare industry, also looking at bioscience, the beverage, the outdoor recreation industry, and more. We want to do everything we can at the county level to support our chambers, to support our local neighborhood businesses, as well as these larger industries, so they can thrive. Because when we have thriving businesses, we have thriving communities as well.
This next question is asking, what element of the county's government is most effective and why?
I think there are a number of examples that I would point to, but first, I think it's really important to circle back to something that I mentioned a little bit earlier. We have faced significant budget challenges, and we've worked with our community. That's one thing I'm particularly proud of, increasing community engagement in our budget decision-making process. Because to my mind, the budget is more than just a document with numbers on it. It really is a moral document that says, what are our priorities as a county? How do we think about the delivery of human services or support for our local economies? How do we ensure that we're focusing on public safety, which makes up more than half of our general revenue budget? That includes the sheriff, the coroner, and the DA, which you heard Juliet mention a little bit earlier. So there are areas where we're looking at innovation. For example, we recycle, I think it is 100% of asphalt in Jefferson County. That not only is good for the environment, but it saves taxpayer money to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're one of the leading counties nationwide, one of 40 that's been recognized for our work to harness solar power as well. We have an incredible team at Jefferson County. They're innovative, they're creative, and we work very closely to make sure we're focused on the right areas. Thank you for the sticky reminder.
Of course.
Was a great question. So
Right. It was a lengthier one. Are county taxes too high, about right, or pleasantly low?
This is also a great question because oftentimes I will hear from individuals who say, how is it that the county is facing budget challenges when I'm seeing my property taxes increase? One thing I'd love to remind everyone is that for every dollar you pay in property taxes, 24 cents goes to the county. And that pays for essential services like roads, bridges, infrastructure, public safety, elections, and more. The rest, however, goes to special districts like the school district or your water district or fire district. So property bills look different depending on what part of the community you live in. In addition, what I would say is the Taxpayer Bill of Rights limits revenue growth using a specific formula for the county. And that means when the county hits the Tabor cap, we return those dollars to you in the form of a Tabor refund. This year, that refund will total 17.3 million, or roughly $30 to $60 worth of Tabor refund checks.
Mm-hmm. Here's another question related to taxes. Do you plan to promote any changes to existing taxes? If so, why?
No, not at this time. There are no plans at this time to change existing taxes. Also, if we were looking at removing property tax revenue from the Tabor cap, we would come to our community to have that conversation. You know, we worked very closely with the sheriff. It was a bipartisan effort in 2019 to take a fresh look at Tabor and remove some of those non-property tax revenues from the Tabor cap to invest in public safety and other essential county services. I think that will be a conversation we'll have in the future at some point with our community.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the appropriate ratio of local government employees to constituents?
Well, let me tell you, I will share with you that one of our biggest challenges, and again, you heard this mentioned in the area of public safety, is retention and recruitment. It's an issue and a challenge that we share with businesses, nonprofits, and certainly other governmental entities. And what we're finding is, given the fact that we have not debruced Jefferson County, unlike many other counties, we're losing some very good people to other counties or municipalities because they want to continue their public service to various communities in the metro area or elsewhere. And those entities can pay significantly more than Jefferson County can. We're very lean and mean as a county. There is no question about it. In fact, it's concerning because in our road and bridge department, we're down more than 30 road and bridge staff members. And you see the same challenges in our sheriff's department, our human services department, and other areas as well. We're working very closely with other county elected officials, with our leadership team, and with our community to really think more creatively about how we continue to recruit and keep talented, innovative staff in Jefferson County.
Thank you for that. Believe it or not, we're already, I see the 20-minute mark already in the left side of the screen. So before closing this out, again, we have a number of folks that have continued to comment. And so I will turn it over to you for closing remarks of about 2 minutes or so. And I do want to just quickly glaze over some of these, just so you're aware of what they're sharing. If you would like to make it a point to address any of this in your closing remarks, you may. But I do just want you to know that the question around the land is definitely one that has come up for folks that have may not feel comfortable purchasing private property, or that the taxpayer dollars have been spent in suing private landowners. And some of those folks wanted to see the county be more of a protection rather than taking away from their constituents. So I did want to reiterate, I have seen you all, your comments. There is no, I don't need to lie to you all. None of these questions were provided to the candidates ahead of time. These are all questions that are from our business community. And with that, I will turn this over to you to make some closing remarks.
Great. Thank you so much, Julia. Thanks to everyone who's weighing in the comments section, everyone who's viewing the candidate forum today. I, again, have to tell you, it has been a real honor to serve as your county commissioner. I think we have much more work to do in the next 4 years around reducing wildfire risk. I've served on a statewide commission to reduce wildfire risk. We've made tremendous progress here in Jefferson County, doubling our slash collection, looking at improved efforts to harden homes and increase defensible space in the wildland-urban interface. I also chair our Opioid Regional Council, and this council is made up of Gilpin, Clear Creek, and Jefferson counties. Together, we're working on how we best leverage the opioid settlement dollars to help address the opioid epidemic. I'm also a co-chair of the Bright Futures Initiative. Together, we worked with our community to create a roadmap to ensure that all children in Jefferson County and their families have supports and access to high quality early childhood education. I look forward to working with you on these issues and others. I'm also very proud to have the endorsement of the Denver Metro Area Realtors, the Metro Housing Coalition, the Fraternal Order of Police, West Metro Lodge 18, as well as the Colorado and West Metro Professional Firefighters Associations and Conservation Colorado. It is my honor to work with you and for you. For more information, please visit Dahlkemper.com, and I would be honored to earn your vote on November 8th.
Thank you so much for that, Leslie. I'm quickly flashing the campaign page for you all to be able to reference at a later point in time. Appreciate you spending some of your morning or afternoon with us and in getting some of these answers to the questions that we were able to share your way. For those of you that are tuned in, we will be exiting this broadcast and then hopping on in the next few minutes for our next candidate that is running for office. This will be on the Adams County side. All candidates at state and county were invited to these forums, the virtual session that we have, of course, today. So I appreciate you all for engaging on here, for bringing your comments and your thoughts. And I appreciate you, Leslie, for being willing to share some answers to the questions that we were able to pose, and in doing your part in trying to address some of the concerns that may be out there for folks. If anyone has any questions, you can always reach out directly to our candidates. And of course, we'll see everyone after the votes and elections and where we wind up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.